sportschatplace.com and pickdogs.com. It is Saturday, May the 9th, 2020. Of course, we would be having day baseball today and night baseball, afternoon baseball, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs under normal circumstances. But these circumstances have been anything but normal. We've continued to bring you the live show 365 days a year, 7 days a week. That is just because it's what we do. Kind of do it to let you guys know that we're here for you, as well as, continuity. I like to stay in the flow with it. This is what I do. I do it because I love it, not because for any other reason. And, of course, we're working on our studio. You could see that. And then, as the weeks progress over the next month, as we head back into sports, we're going to start fixing the other guys up too. So, in their studio as well. So you'll see changes what they're doing over there too. So all exciting stuff. And, yesterday we went over week 1 of the NFL schedule. I think, we have plenty of other NFL scheduling things to talk about, and we have plenty of time to talk about it. I think sports are going to be back soon. I really do. The NBA players are now back in the gym. So we'll see it. But speaking about back in the gym, we got Steve Monahan with us to start the show. Of course, we have Rod Zawacki and Chris Ruffalo coming up in just a little bit doing UFC picks, and then we'll be doing sim picks at the end of the show. But Steve, welcome.
Hello, good morning.
So we got
everybody.
An NFL prop bet out there. I'm not sure if it is, but I know I can probably find an odds maker out there in Vegas that'll set this one for us. More games played this season, Carson Wentz or Sean Lee?
Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
By a smidgen.
I don't know if Wentz can go at any time. Wentz is the only guy, he hurts himself throwing the football without getting touched. And it's not like, a muscle pull or something. It breaks his hand, throwing,
he's injury prone, no question. But Sean Lee, and I love Sean Lee. He's a warrior. He's a really good linebacker.
I'm not questioning his. Wentz, I got to question his talent. But with Sean Lee, no question about what this guy brings.
He just can't stay healthy on the field. He's always got a hammy. He's got a something.
And people will say that, I'm highly critical of these guys, and let's see you do it or whatever. I'll tell you what, I'm not making $10 million a year to stay healthy. I'm not making, and I'm not charging. My show's free, for you to watch. And it's I'm not charging $200 a ticket and, $43 for chicken nuggets. We got a free show here. So it's it's different circumstances. But, the NBA players are back in the gym now. Kevin Love said it felt strange. But I have to say that, last Friday at the golf courses here, it felt strange the first day out. And now it's been, a week and change. And it no longer feels strange. So you think that these NBA players are going to be ready to go soon? Or you think that we're still looking at a canceled season?
No, I think the fact that they're in the gym is a good sign. And again, I don't think anybody has the answer as to how this is going to play out, when they're going to start up,
I have
where
the
they're
answer.
going to play. But it's just speculation. But it's a good sign. At least the players are being allowed in, and it's a positive first step, I think. So hopefully, NBA is going to be playing mid-June, something like that. Hopefully.
So
right?
One of the
same thing with Major League Baseball.
So one of the weird
right.
announcements that came out in the middle of all this, so Major League Baseball has had the longest draft. The NFL draft used to be 16 rounds. It was always 16 rounds plus, and that's why Mr. Irrelevant right now would have been a middle of the draft pick, and it was very common back in the day, even the roster, with the rosters the way they were, for drafted players to get cut. It happened all the time. Now drafted players do get cut before they ever make it, but it's rare. You got to be like a Josh Heupel type or something, to not really make it, But it's another Dolphin quarterback, right? But anyways,
I'm a boy.
Yeah, Heisman winner.
He did. He won the Heisman
and the national championship.
Yeah,
can't take it away from him.
He's a good coach.
Yeah, he's a great coach. But the thing is
I know
that
you're leading to this announcement, the Major League Baseball, 40 rounds down to 5
right,
for
and
their
that's
draft.
that's where I was going with this because baseball is a sport that has a bunch of different levels to it. It's not like the NFL where it's the 53-man roster and then the practice squad. And I think they're adding players to the roster as well and the practice squad because of the expanded season. But baseball dropping from 40 rounds to 5 is a big deal here because
Huge.
you see players drafted late in baseball that are key contributors. And, in the NFL, I hate the Mr. Irrelevant now. It's the 252nd pick. I mean, that's we went over this. I
Right.
love putting the numbers in perspective with people, like talking about how much a guy makes a pitch and how much a guy makes in at bat and how much a guy makes a swing and how much a guy makes, because it kind of puts a lot of reality on it. And you're kind of just like, that's crazy that Amari Cooper makes, $23,500 a play. It's unbelievable that he does that.
And he makes that standing on the sideline for a play, too.
Well, how about when Justin Verlander throws that $8,000 curveball? It's like that's outside. It's not even close. No one swings and it's there.
Yeah, but to your point on this draft, I mean, they got to fill a lot of groceries in the cupboards on all levels, from rookie ball to A ball to double A,
Also,
triple A.
you have the high school players, right? That
That's
don't.
a lot of players.
Oh, it's a
talking
lot of
about.
players, and you're talking about a sport that does draft directly out of high school. There's no limitations in baseball, and they go straight from high school to a pro level of baseball more than all the other sports combined, right? And guys are drafted out of high school. You also have these other picks, right, of guys that might play baseball, might play football, kind of like. You take them way early, and then you can redraft them in another time. This is how Deion Sanders enters the league. This is how Kyler Murray gets drafted. This is how
John Elway back in the day by the Yankees got drafted.
Yeah, Drew Henson.
Drew Henson.
There's been a lot of these guys. There's been a lot of them, and you're not gonna. I just don't think you're gonna see it anymore. I think that this going from 40 to 5. I think really makes the college game a more viable route than what it did before. Everyone knows I don't hide it. I'm a Miami fan. I'm a homer all the way. And, football, baseball, I don't care what it is. I'm still a homer. Greg Louganis, I'm a homer, right? Diving, we had Louganis. It's like we'll throw it in your face. And I always say, people say, "Oh, Miami Ducks, whatever." Yeah, come take a look at our trophy case, and we'll decide if it was worth it or not. And I just think that when you look at the Miami baseball program over the years, and you say if this was the case, all the way. We would have been pretty good if A-Rod played for us. And we would have been pretty good if Mike Piazza stayed. We would have been pretty good. The list goes on and on and on of guys that went to the pros instead of playing at Miami. And the list goes the other way, too, of guys that played at Miami and are in the pros. Ryan Braun and,
nobody's shedding a tear about Miami Hurricane baseball. They've been very successful over the years. Obviously, they haven't won the national title, and probably in a long period now for them. Right?
Little Richard passing, yeah, Little Richard.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Golly, Miss Molly.
Yep, we should get a Little Richard, and we should actually start putting. I think behind me, I have this big open space kind of in the middle, like directly behind me, which you don't see that much. But I think maybe that should be our rock and roll division, kind of like the guys like this, like the Little Richard, James Brown, Jagger, like just Zeppelin, like all my guys, Rush, have all that stuff going on here. I'm always looking for suggestions, So it's like, and it's like I said, the set is always a work in progress. It's brand new, so it's like there's a lot we can do with it, and even the space in between the shelf and the surfboard over there, we got strip. We can stick a bunch of stuff. There's plenty of room in there, and so I just think that this baseball draft is a big deal. Is a really big deal, and I think that it's going to change that game, and probably at the different levels. I think you're going to see less guys willing to take the chance and skip college and then go to the pros. And I think you'll probably see the minor leagues.
Major League Baseball, even with this draft, the African American, numbers for kids being drafted have really dropped. Like in the last 10 years, like a lot of African Americans are not playing baseball to the levels that were, prevalent, from the day Kurt Flood and so on and so forth.
But I think a lot of people aren't playing baseball.
Too.
Well,
that's a problem.
Well, the problem is with baseball is that it costs, to go to a Yankee game and to sit in the bleachers is an unreasonable thing. And you're talking a 162 game schedule. You're talking a game where the players have run amok. The union has destroyed this game, and it's like it's only going to get worse. When Bryce Harper turns down $30 million to stay home because it's not enough money, this is a problem. This is a problem. Mickey Mantle, if it came down to 30 and 35 million, which it never would have, Mickey was staying in New York. I mean, it's like this doesn't happen. Joe DiMaggio was the Yankee Clipper. He wasn't going to have a St. Louis Cardinals asterisk next to that. It's like these are not. This is a sport that just has lost its mind. And it's like the day when we lived in Boston in the 80s, right? Bleacher seats were $2. They raised them to $3. Now they're $50.
Yeah.
$50. Wrigley Field, okay, which, right, my hated place, right, of all, the baseball mecca. It's like it's a shithole, right? It's like this place is a cesspool, and it's an embarrassment to baseball. It's not the mecca of baseball. It's not like this, thing. Fenway Park, it is the mecca of baseball. And I'll tell you, I've been to both a lot of times. Not like I went to one game at each, and I was in Chicago. I lived in Chicago. I went to Wrigley Field often. I lived in Boston. I went to Fenway Park more than often. And I have to say, between the two, it's not even a comparison of which is the quintessential. I've watched Wrigley Field games from the rooftops. I watched them from the bleachers. I sat for the Cubs White Sox game. I bought a bleacher ticket, face value, $85. Face value, sit in the bleachers at Wrigley. I don't know, man.
I know it's tough to bite that bullet.
It's just the thing about Cubs fans, and I know they hate me for this, is that the Cubs fans aren't the real Chicago people. I mean, there are real Chicago people that are Cubs fans, but the bulk of these people, they're from Buffalo, Michigan or something coming in to see a game. And it's like that's the difference between going to see the White Sox game. And I'll tell you, the White Sox in 2005 when I lived in Chicago, 2006, Bobby Jenks coming out of the bullpen, and it was electric. It was like electric, And you just don't see that at Wrigley. Wrigley is more just like people are there to be at Wrigley, not to be at a baseball game. And there's a big difference. But anyways, I could spend a whole show just talking about that. But anyways, back to this draft thing. Steve, who do you think's the best NFL player drafted in the 10th round and beyond?
Oh, God.
I know who my favorite Mr. Irrelevant of all time is. I think the best Mr. Irrelevant, and when he was drafted, and I was young at the time when this happened, I will tell you, the Mr. Irrelevant that I think defines Mr. Irrelevant was Reggie Kinlaw, who ended up starting for the Raiders for years. And it was like he came out of Oklahoma, and it was like, how in the hell does this guy slip to this last pick of the 16th round? And this is before they didn't have compensatory picks or anything back then. But it's like, to me, that's a Mr. Irrelevant, not, the 252nd pick. I'm doing this because I have a new light for this glow behind me, and I'm kind of just figuring out I just don't like the positioning. I feel like it's highlighting my armpits for some reason. Anyways, Not a good look. Anyways, I'm going to bring in Chris and Rod here. They're going to do their UFC predictions for tonight. Going to do old school Puck Dogs look with Chris on one side. Steve, thanks. We'll see you in just a couple minutes for the Sim Picks.
You got it.
Thanks,
guys.
So we got Chris, me, and Rod. The old school look, I believe, to how we always lined up for our Puck Dog show. But we got UFC picks. Hey, guys, how's it going? Chris, how you doing?
Doing well. I'm just happy we have something to talk about today. I was a little bit scared last night.
I can't wait to get Chris's lights in. We definitely need to do some work over there. It's a glare fest. I mean, that's really what it is.
I know.
It's like, let's take 3 pieces of shiny glass and point some lights at him. You know, it's like from now on for the Chris segments until he fixes it, I'm gonna wear my shades. Rod, how's it going over there? How's Benny doing?
Really good. Pouring absolutely rain here.
I played golf in a windy rainstorm yesterday. I could have played all day because there was nobody else on the whole course, and it was just crazy. But yeah, we got UFC tonight. I know nothing about UFC. Okay, this is a sport that I know very, very little. I've been to a few fights. I really enjoy it when I go, but I couldn't even tell you. Like, I saw Woodley was one of the guys that I saw, but he was an up-and-comer when I saw him last. I've seen, and I know I heard that he became like a champion and stuff, and he was awesome when I saw him. He was kind of like a guy that people were mixed about, you know, but they knew he was going to be very, very good at the time. I saw Fedor, you know, so it was a while ago, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyways, we got UFC tonight, and they're back in the ring, and, you know, I think that, you know, having UFC is kind of just a step in the right direction. It's sports, it's betting, it's all those things. We have links at Sports Chat Plays and at Pick Dogs where you can get ESPN Plus. You get 25% off, so ESPN, they're a sponsor of ours, so I don't talk about it a hell of a lot, but they're really actually very nice people and friends of mine. I would consider them, you know, when I'm in town, and I see most of the guys there actually do look them up, which you normally wouldn't think, but I do, and I do like the guys there. So I will say that they asked me to say this, that it's, if you get the UFC fight tonight and a year subscription to the ESPN Plus, use our link. It's 25% off. I didn't even post it. I told them I would post that on the site. I didn't. But you're hearing it here. If you use our link on Sports Chat or Pick Dogs, you sign up for ESPN Plus to watch the fight. You get 25% off, plus 25% off your year subscription of ESPN Plus. But anyway, speaking of Plus, Chris, what do we got tonight? What's you know, throw out some. I don't even know how to do this format because, to be honest, the only fight that I know is Ferguson, and I can't pronounce the other guy's name.
Well, I've got 3 picks for tonight, so.
So give out the first one. We'll go to Rod. Rod, how many picks you got?
Oh, I just put card. What the heck are we? I thought we were going through the whole card.
All right.
The whole card's not that.
Start up.
Go through the top, work your way down.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's something that I'm not even going to bet because in UFC.
No, we'll just give the ones that you're going to bet. We're just doing the ones you're going to bet. So go ahead. We'll do how many? We'll let Chris do one. 5?
I have 5.
All right, so go do one. We'll do one. Chris, 1. We'll do it this way. So it's you. Go ahead. Give your first one.
My first one. I'm trying to go in order of when these fights go. The first one is I'm going to take Bryce Mitchell over Charles Rosa. Mitchell's just a better fighter here. And minus 170. Not bad. I'm putting that in a birdcage. So,
Chris?
That's first pick of my birdcage.
Yeah, my first one's going to be Donald Cerrone at plus 115 against Anthony Pettis. It's a coin flip. I mean, two fighters that are struggling right now. Cerrone's lost 7 of his last 11. Pettis lost 8 of his last 12. But the difference for me is Cerrone's last 3 fights were Conor McGregor and the 2 guys in the main event, Ferguson and Gaethje. So I think the competition level's a little bit different, and Cerrone's a better fighter, so I'll take him at plus money here.
He's been around for a while, the Cowboy, right? Pettis always reminds me of Gary Pettis, the baseball player. Anyways, I always think when people say Pettis, I'm always like Gary Pettis. Anyways, Rod, who's your next pick?
I'm totally opposite there. I got to take Pettis. I think he's the better fighter there.
That was a snort. He snorted you. Chris he snorted you and he gave it just like.
So
wow.
Cerrone
talk about the role reversal there.
He needs to take the gloves and go, poop, I'm done.
I've been snorting eye rolling Chris's picks for years. So Chris,
Pettis wins.
Why do you guys differ on this? Now I'm interested. Now I can. So, is there a style difference here? I know that. So I don't even follow UFC, and I know that Cerrone has been fighting some tough guy, kind of out of his league. Really, he's kind of like a good opponent. He's kind of like how, he's kind of like a guy who's good. But he's not, he's kind of like how Miguel Cotto was against Mayweather and Pacquiao, where he's really good, and Canelo, right? He's really good, but he's not going to beat one of those three guys, So, what makes Pettis, has he fought the same level as these other guys? I mean, and do you like by KO, decision, all that stuff? Chris?
Well, Pettis hasn't fought the same level recently. Like, you look at Cerrone, like I said, those were his last three fights dating back recently. The only guy that Pettis has fought of those three was Ferguson, and that was, I think, last year or 2 years ago. So I think Cerrone wins this one either by decision or by knockout, technical knockout.
Rod?
For me, I think just the physical durability of Pettis is a lot better than Cerrone right now. Maybe not mentally, because we know Pettis isn't all right in the head, but physically, he'll survive longer. I do. I got to take Pettis. Cerrone just looked absolutely dog beat, ugly last fight. He didn't even look like he was ready to do anything. He got killed. It was ugly. So just based on that alone, I can't back Cerrone. I like Cerrone, great fighter, but I can't back him. That last fight was ugly. So he just looked like he stood there like a punching bag. It was just like
he did. I did see that, and he did look like a punching bag. I do agree with that. But anyways, so Lou left a comment here. He likes my background. We're gonna do on Monday with Mitch this week. I'm gonna do a studio tour using my other camera where you can see everything clearly. But this is a work in progress, and it's going to be reworked. I kind of just, while we're, as I explain every show, we're just doing the shows basically to try and work through some of the tech stuff. Even though, like today, we're able to give out picks. Speaking of picks, Chris, what's your next pick?
My next one, I'm looking at Dominic Cruz at plus 170 against Henry Cejudo.
He's out, right? He's got COVID.
No, that's Jacare Souza.
Oh. Okay.
Jacare Souza was the one that tested positive last night.
It all sounds the same to me.
Now, Dominic Cruz, everybody's going to probably look past him because he hasn't fought since 2016. But that last loss against Cody Garbrandt in 2016 was a guy that was the same size as him.
This one, I think, Dominic was for Steve Monahan. Highest odds in a baseball pitcher was Fernando Valenzuela. Yeah, see, the guys like that. Fernando is awesome. But anyways, go ahead.
I just think, Dominic Cruz does his best work against guys that are smaller than him. He dominated Demetrius Johnson a few years ago, and the reason he did that, Demetrius Johnson, one of the best flyweights in the world, he was 5'3". Cejudo's 5'4". His striking's improved, but I just think Cruz is the better fighter here, and even if he hasn't fought in 3 years, I think the size advantage is just too much for Cejudo here, so I'll take Cruz at plus 170. Great, here we go.
Yeah, I'll take Henry Cejudo here. Dominic Cruz hasn't fought in 3 years.
Sounds like you guys could have some side action here.
3 years. He's a little rusty. Cejudo's way more improved on his striking right now. He's a lot stronger. He's been in the game. This just seems too easy to me. I'm taking Henry Cejudo. There's no way I'm taking Dominic Cruz. He's just been out too long. And I'm going to take Henry Cejudo by TKO. He's going to knock him out.
I'm not going to knock him out when he's down 4 inches in size advantage, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sports being back as well. But anyways, all right, Chris, what's your last pick here? You said you had 3.
Yeah, my last one's in the main event. I got Justin Gaethje over Tony Ferguson.
Plus
I mean,
180.
Tony Ferguson,
Plus 180.
yeah. I mean, Tony Ferguson, it's a decent price for a guy who hasn't lost in 8 years, but I think that we're only paying or getting plus 180 for Gaethje just goes to show you how much of a threat he truly is. I think he's got knockout power written all over him. And, we've seen Tony Ferguson. He hasn't been knocked out, but there are guys that have rattled him. Pettis rattled him. And there was another guy that rattled him not too long ago. But I think Gaethje just finds the right shot here, and I think he wins by knockout. I've got him to win by knockout or TKO at plus 190. And I'm even going to take him to win in round 1 at plus 550. He's finished his last 3 fights by strikes in the first round. So that's where I'm at.
How's Greg Hardy at this sport?
He's not too bad. I think he's done pretty well so far.
He's a great athlete for a big guy.
Yeah.
Right? Great athlete.
Holy, we agree on something.
Finally.
I'm thinking the same thing. Got Gaethje by TKO.
Wow.
Plus 190.
There you go.
He's going to knock him out.
So that covers everyone's UFC picks here. Chris, you want to recap yours?
No, my last one is I'm going to go against Greg Hardy today. I'm going to take Jorgen De Castro at plus 165. He's got a shot. His first fights when he started as an amateur, he wasn't as good. He came in, and as a professional, he's won his first 5 fights, and 4 of them have been by knockout. Give me Jorge De Castro plus 165.
What the hell? I'll take Greg Hardy. I'll just throw him in
I love that Pettis is 22-10 and Cerrone's 36-14. This is like some bar fight records of some of the guys I knew in college. Anyway, so I'm going to bring Steve back in. Speaking of bar fights, and we'll bring Steve back in here for the sim pick section. Steve, someone commented on the Fernando Valenzuela as a guy that was came in late too. So
that's a tough one to top.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it begins and ends with that one.
Hey, Don Mattingly was late 30s. He was drafted, if I remember correctly, something like the 37th, 38th round. So
Piazza was in that.
Piazza's another one. He was probably in the 20s or probably.
I think
30s
he was.
too.
I think he was the last round.
40s.
I think he was the last
Yeah,
round.
he might have been last round too.
I'm gonna look it up. But anyways, in the meantime, let's go over yesterday's sim picks. I don't know what I did with my card. Let's see. I have no idea where it is. My wife cleaned up my desk again. It's probably in a bin somewhere. It's in a bin labeled,
Bin me.
Oh, it's like I have so much stuff in here. But Mike Piazza was drafted in the 62nd round of the 1988 draft. He played at Miami-Dade Community College, right down the street from where I grew up. It's on 117th and Kendall.
It's a debate for another day.
Yeah,
Torn on him.
Yeah, 100. He played at Miami-Dade.
He never got caught. Give him that. He never got caught. I will give him that.
1,390th player selected.
No.
Wonder what that rookie contract looked like.
Tommy Lasorda's nephew or something, right? Piazza.
Yep. Hall of Fame, Rookie of the Year, 12-time All-Star, 10-time Silver Slugger.
Okay.
Those are Gretzky type numbers. All right.
Yeah, he had a great career.
427 round trippers.
Never got caught.
That's the era he played in.
I get it.
Yeah, he just played by the cards that were dealt to him.
Nothing wrong with that. I get it.
All right, Chris, how did we do yesterday on the sim picks? I don't know. I wouldn't know because my wife decided that was not one that I needed. Oh, I see it all the way the hell over there. All right, go ahead.
The Patriots covered. The Cowboys covered. The Bears beat the Ravens outright, and the Falcons covered in overtime against Kansas City.
I seen the Dallas win. I think, was it Dallas? The pick six all the way down to the other end. That was in overtime. Sure it was.
Spectacular video football.
Video game pick six in overtime.
He could go. Oh, right.
So today's the first day of their tournament.
The guy runs like all weird. Like they run straight sideways and then all of a sudden they turn left and it's like
My butt's stuck.
He's going the wrong way.
It's like when Dak Prescott ran 70 yards for a safety in one of these simulations.
You know, it's like, what is he doing? What is he doing? Is there a bear chasing him? What's going on?
Okay, so today, 1 o'clock, Bills -7 at home against the Jets.
Bills.
Bills. I thought we
I
did.
like the
Wasn't
Jets.
this yesterday?
No, they're starting their tournament today. It's like a World Cup of sim picks.
Oh.
Oh. Break out the grill and start tailgating.
Oh, yeah.
I like the Jets. 4 Eastern, Ravens -13.5 at home against the Bengals.
Well, bounce back. I'll take the home team.
Yeah, I'll take the Ravens.
I'll go Ravens.
I'll take the Ravens.
7 Eastern, Eagles -7 at home against the Redskins. I like Washington.
I like Washington. Seems like we just picked these games.
Yeah.
Is this week one schedule of the NFL?
This is their first day. They're doing it just like World Cup style. You play the teams in your group.
But I think these are the
in
same
your
games
division.
as week one of the NFL. I think these are the
Well,
same
maybe
ones.
they are.
Because the Jets Bills,
Maybe they
we
are.
just did this game yesterday. Right? We
Yeah.
did these games. Eagles, Redskins,
Well,
right?
They have Giants Cowboys at 10 o'clock. I don't know if that's.
If they do that as the Sunday night. No, because Rams Cowboys, right? It's like they
Yeah.
always for some reason they always have Cowboys like the Sunday night opener. It's like it's just not
Hey, we're American team. Come on.
it's not fair to the rest of us. It's not. It's really not. It's unfair and it's uncalled for. It's kind of like the way that they had to have the Knicks every Christmas as the leadoff game. It's like finally they got away from it. It took a while.
Well,
They're just like
finally they realized that the Knicks are not worthy of a Christmas Day appearance.
it doesn't
After
matter.
20.
They're the New York Knicks, you know.
I get it, but they haven't been on the last couple years.
Thank God. Anyways,
Thank God.
it's like that game. To make it worse, that game is like starts at 7 a.m. here. You know, in Hawaii, that Christmas Day Knicks game. It's like you roll out of bed, and it's like you finish the show. You kind of just like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and watch some hoops. It's the frickin' Knicks, man. It's like. And it's not like, oh, the Knicks stand up and make a stand on Christmas Day or something like that. They just get slaughtered, I mean, it's like,
Not pretty.
no, nothing good about it. Anyways, speaking of bricks, Chris, let's go.
Last one, Giants +12 on the road against the Cowboys. Cowboys -12.
Cowboys are playing twice?
Yeah,
No, I'm saying that was the 10 o'clock game. I was just.
The feature
I'll go with the Cowboys.
the feature
I'll
matchup?
take the Giants just for fun. Give me the Giants.
I'm going to guess
+12.
Saquon Barkley is good in this game, but I'm still going to take the Cowboys.
Yeah, 89 overall. Yeah, I'll take the Cowboys.
Yeah, spread knowledge. I'll go back to doing the exact same show that I was doing. I'm actually on Monday. I'm going to be doing the studio tour, the Monday with Mitch, and I'm going to show you guys the new setup I have for spread knowledge, where I'm going to actually instead of just showing a screenshot and then me talking behind it, I have one of those green screens that you see like all the other cheesy YouTube channel guys in our industry. They have this. What they have is this green screen behind them, and they show this picture of a sports book, but like none of the TVs are moving, and it's like the middle of December, and it's like baseball players on the screens and stuff because they miss all the details, right? Because they're not, it's like they think we're stupid or something. I have no idea why the hell they do this. Like they show like some sports book, right? And it's like, I'm standing in a sports book. No, you're standing in front of a green screen. It's a picture of a sports book because nothing's moving behind you, right? But I have a green screen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be kind of like the weather girl, and I'm going to have the spread knowledge stuff behind me on the green screen, and this way I'm going to point, and explain like as I'm going down, and explain to what's going on the green screen. So it's going to be, I'm going to do spread knowledge. I actually have a call with Charles either tomorrow or Monday because he sent out this email where they reskinned it. I personally don't like it. And I said, I'm the one that talks to all the people that use it, right? So it's like, I would know, it's like, so sometimes change is a bad thing. Change, I think change for the sake of change is just bad. Change for the better is always good. Change for the sake of change, never a good thing. Chris, we done?
Yeah, we're done for today.
All right, it was a beautiful show there.
Oh, Rod's got.
Two more pay. Do hockey again.
Rod's on a heater in NHL Sim Picks.
NHL Sim Picks.
Lighten the lamp.
First one up, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We got Washington Capitals at the St. Louis Blues.
Is Bennington playing?
Of course. So give me the Blues. I'll take the Blues on the money line and on the puck line.
I'll go Blues.
And the next one's at 8:30 Eastern Time. We got the Vegas Knights at the San Jose Sharks. We've got Vegas at minus 200 and the Sharks at plus 150.
Wow. That's a high price.
I'm going to take the Sharks plus 1.5, even money.
You're on a heater. I'll take the Sharks if you say the Sharks.
All right.
Pick a card, any card.
It's been a wonderful show. It's been real. I'll see everyone tomorrow for our Sunday show. Should be, maybe we'll have some news about like some real sports restarting or something. Not, we'll talk about Rod and Chris will set up an octagon and they can settle their UFC differences right then and there in the ring. Favorite UFC move? What's your favorite move that the fighters do?
Oh God, the twister.
How about you, Rod?
It's just like,
I love when the guy uses the cage, he jumps off the side of the cage and kicks the guy right in the head.
Steve, any UFC move for you?
I like the knee to the face.
Knee to the face, always good. Me, I'm a hammer fist guy. Love the hammer fist. It's like it's like when the guy's down on the ground, he's like beating on him like a cowbell. It's like that's the best part of the whole thing. It's kind of like, how could you not tap out? I don't know. It's like I know some people have never been in a fight in their life and all that stuff. Everyone's been hit in the nose, though, accidentally or not accidentally. Nothing fun about it. No, I've had my nose redone twice. This is not a real nose, man. It's like I think about too many lights, it'll start to melt. But anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. It's been fun, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. I think that we're lightening up a little bit on the show because we've just realized where we're at. But anyways, I like the tone, even though I don't like the production quality. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Have a great night, great day. Enjoy the fights. Yep. And remember, use that link on our website. You get 25% off the fight plus 25% off your year subscription of ESPN Plus.